Hello students, this is Quantitative Methods with the course code as MSB21T1001. This is a first year course. In the previous videos, we have studied about the transportation, assignment, linear programming. Here in this topic, we will start with the game theory concepts. The game basically that the two people are playing and the three people are playing, but here in this game theory structure, we will study only the two-person game. The objectives of this game theory is that we will study about the game theory, that the two-person zero-sum game, solution to the game problem, saddle point method, and then the formula method. Introduction is that this game theory basically deals with the decision making in the situation where there are two or more rational players are playing the game, who all have the set of strategies with them, who are involved in condition of competition and conflicting interest, and they are all aware of the payoff resulting from the play of the various combination of the strategies by different players. That means if I am playing with this strategy and he is playing with a different strategy, what is the profit of the loss is there. The solution of a game call for determining optimal strategy for the players to play. The two-person zero-sum game is that there are two players only. Each player has a finite number of strategy to play. It's not necessary that the same number of strategies should be with both them, that A can play with the 5 strategy and B can play with only 2 strategy. That can happen. Conditional payoffs resulting from the play of the various combination of strategy are known. Each payoff is gain for one player and the loss for the other. So if we are talking about the 5 as a profit, so 5 is the profit for one player if he is playing with the one strategy and the other player is with the second strategy, and for this 5 the loss for the second person. The solution calls for determining optimal strategies for each of the players, where pure or missed strategies are there to result and the resulting value of the game. Solution of the game problem: we have the 5 methods to solve a game problem. The first one is the saddle point method, second is the formula method for a 2 by 2 game, third is dominance, fourth is graphical method, and the fifth one is the LPP or the simplex method. And these methods are goes on a sequence basis. That means whatever the game is given, first we have to check the saddle point. If the saddle point exists, that means that is the solution. If the saddle point doesn't exist, then we will move to the second step, second method, that we will see that it is a 2 by 2 game or not. If it is a 2 by 2 game, then we will apply the formula method and then solve it. If it is not a 2 by 2 game, then we will move to the third one, that is the dominance method. In the dominance method, the concept says that we have to uh, convert the given problem in a 2 by 2 game. If it is converted in a 2 by 2 game, then we will move to the second point and we will apply the formula and solve it. If it cannot be converted in a 2 by 2 game, it might be possible that it is a 2 by n game or the m by 2 game, then we will solve it by graphical method. And if after dominance method it is not converted in the 2 by 2 game or the 2 by n or m by 2 games, it remains in the m by n games, then we will apply the simplex method to solve the game problem. That means the game problem is on a sequence basis. We have to try each and every method to check whether this is applicable in this situation or not. First, we are talking about the saddle point method. For the saddle point method, before going the saddle point method, we have to check the different kind of a thing. One is known as a uh, criteria of optimism and pessimism. One is maxim-min and the second is minimax strategy. Maxim-min is basically to select the maximum out of the minimums. When we are talking about the minimax strategy, that means the person has to select the minimum out of the maximums. So these two strategies work on a different aspect. Maxim-min works for the player who has to maximize his profit, and minimax works on the player who has to minimize his loss. So if I'm talking in the terms of the profit and the loss, the maximum says that the person has to maximize his minimum profit. And when I'm talking about the minimax, that means the person has to minimize his maximum loss. So as we have said earlier, that in a game, one person will win and this other person will lose. It might be possible that there is a tie. There is no win or the loss there. So if win and loss is there, that the person who is on the winning side, he has to maximize his minimum profit, and the person who is on the losing side, he has to minimize his maximum loss. So this is what about the maximin and the minimax criteria. So to solve a game, first we first look for the saddle point to check if a saddle point exists or not. So the steps are: first we will find out the minimum payoff for each row. Select the largest of the minimum payoffs, that is, we will find out the maximin strategy of the maximizing player. Find maximum payoff of each column. Select the smallest of these payoff. This is the minimax strategy of minimizing player. If the maximin and the minimax strategy have same payoff, then the game has a saddle point. If they have the different values, that means the saddle point doesn't exist. So we have to find out this. If a game has saddle point, then the maximin and the minimax strategy involved are the optimal strategies for the players and are called the pure strategies. A game that have more than one saddle point resulting in multiple optimal strategy. So there may be the more than one saddle point exists, but all the values will remain same. That means the value of the game, the value at after that we will say that okay, one person will get this profit and the other person will suffer this loss. This will remain same in each of the saddle point. If the game has no saddle point, then the player has to have to play with Mills strategy. If value of the game is 0, then it is called a fair game. If b is greater than 0, then the favors the maximizing player. That means the person who is getting the profit. That means that is best for them. If b is less than 0, that is in the negative, then the favors the minimizing player. Here we have a problem to in which we will find out the saddle point saddle point. So this is question to find the saddle point of the for the following table, which is a profit table for A. So the problem is find the saddle point for the following table, which is a profit table for A. So there will always be mentioned that which is a profit table and which is a loss table. So it is a profit table for A. That means according to the rows, that means according to these strategies, I am getting the profit, and according to the B's strategy, there is a loss. So what we have to do, as the method says, that we have to find out the minimum of each row. That means in 12 minus 8 and minus 2, the minimum comes out to be minus 8. 6 7 3, the minimum comes out to be 3. 10 minus 10 6 and 2, the minimum comes out to be minus 10. We have to find out the maximum of each column. That means the 12, 7 and 3. Out of the minimums, we have to find out the maximum, that is a maximum value. Out of the maximum, we have to find out the minimum values, that is the minimax value. So since it is said that if the maximum and the minimax values are same, then the saddle point is there. So this 3 is the saddle point of the given problem. This saddle point is also known as the value of the game. That means when this game will over, A will get the profit of 3 and B will lose the we will suffer a loss of 3. The optimum strategy for A is A2, because the saddle point is lies between in A2, and the optimum strategy for B is B3. So this is a solution of the saddle point. Now this is a problem where the saddle point is not there. The process is same. This is a profit table for A. First we will find out the minimum of each row and the maximum of each column. Now you can see that this 7 is the minimax value, the maximum value, and this 9 is the minimax value. Since these two values are not same, that means the saddle point doesn't exist. So we will write down there is no saddle point, or saddle point doesn't exist for this problem. Solution with the no saddle point or the formula method. The formula says that it is a 2 by 2 game, so it is A11, A12, A21, A22. Then we will apply these two formula, that is x, y. X is the probability for the player A, the strategy of A1, and for the A2 it is x1 minus x. Similarly for the B it is y, and for B2 it is 1 minus y. These are the probabilities which we are assuming. Since the saddle point doesn't exist, so they have to go with the mixed strategies. And the formula for the B, that is the value of the game, is this one. So if this is a question, that is a A11 is 8, A12 is minus 7, A1 1 is minus 6 and a 2 2 is 4. So we have to find out the probability x as a 4 minus 6 divided by 8 plus 4 minus 6 plus minus 7. That comes out to be 2 by 5. So 1 minus x, that is the probability for the a2, can be 3 by 5. Similarly, y comes out to be 11 by 25, and the probability for b2, that is 1 minus y, comes out to be 14 by 25, and the value of the game comes out to be minus 2.25. So here you can see that the value of the game comes out to be negative. So it favors the minimizing person. That means it favors b. So b will get a profit of minus 2 upon 5, and a will suffer a loss of minus 2 upon 5. So B will get the profit over here and A will suffer the loss over here in this problem. So what are the questions which we are think that what will happen in the game theory? That what are the pure and the miss strategy? What is the saddle point? And what if saddle point doesn't exist? So if the saddle point doesn't exist, then we have the different methods to solve any given problem. Saddle point is basically the, it is, you can say, the minimum of row and the maximum of column. The definition simple say, if you ask the definition for the saddle point, so I can say simply the saddle point is that which is minimum in row and the maximum in column. So if you find out these two, then you will get the saddle point. Pure and miss strategy, that means if the players knows the strategy of each and every one person or the saddle point exists, then they have the pure strategy. Otherwise, if they are just guessing the strategy, that what strategy they will play, that is known as a mixed strategy. These are the books which you can refer for getting more exposure on the game theory or the more practical questions of game theory. You can find out the ebooks of these uh, books also. Thank you.